Yeah.
What if you're a schoolboy and you fell in love with the quarterback and he ended up falling in love with you? Is a happy ending possible? Well, you're about to meet the author of my ex-best friend, Vico Black, who can tell
Mhm.
us if happy endings are real in a situation like this. So please welcome to the channel, Vico Black. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
You're
excited to
very
be here.
welcome. As you know, I loved this book. I'm obviously a big fan of gay fiction, and there were so many things to love about this book. The whole, falling in love with the quarterback is like every young gay schoolboy's dream, and the fact that the quarterback is, I don't think this is a spoiler because it comes up quite quickly in the book.
Yeah.
The quarterback likes him back. I mean, they've been friends since they were 7 years old.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And so, um, playing computer games, hanging out, sleeping together in the same room since they were little kids. Puberty hits, hormones rage, and things
Yep.
change.
Yep.
Now, the biggest problem for Ray, who's the guy that's in love with the quarterback, whose name is Connor, is that
Yep.
because Connor's the quarterback, he's got an image to uphold.
Mhm.
Hence the
Yes.
drama in the book.
Yep. Exactly.
Is that a pretty fair synopsis without giving away too much?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is a great synopsis that, yeah, that there's a lot of drama related to the expectations Connor feels of being the quarterback, and needing to be a team leader in kind of a city that isn't as affirming to their relationship as they'd like to be. So yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing because they're in
Yeah.
Dallas, aren't they?
Uh, a
Sorry,
small town in Texas.
a
Small
small
town
town
in
in Texas.
Texas. Yeah, yeah.
Not
I kind of
the
made it
most
up, but yeah.
not the most gay welcoming city in the US, shall we say?
Yep. Yes.
And so
Exactly.
I mean, the other thing I love about this book is that it deals with serious issues. It deals with homophobia, a lot of homophobia.
Mm,
It deals
mhm.
with unrequited love. It deals with skanky schoolgirls.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
You'll know who I mean. You'll know why I'm doing that when you read this book.
Yep.
But then we've got Rachel, who is she's a neurodivergent character. Now, you and I talked
Mhm.
about this off camera. Neurodivergent characters are very important in your all of your books,
Yep.
present and future.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
I think this is so important to have someone like Rachel in this book because, yes, she's neurodivergent, but she's fully functioning. In fact, she
Mm.
she functions better than some of the others in the book, babe.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think
Exactly.
so much.
Yeah. Good. Awesome.
um,
Yes. Oof.
so, Rachel, why is she in the book? I'm glad she is, but why is it so important that she's in the book in the role that she's in?
Yeah. That's a great question. I actually think to answer that, I have to go even back further a little bit in that one of my goals as an author is to write the stories I did not have when I was at this
Yes,
age period. So
yes,
like when I was the age of Connor and Ray, I would walk through a Barnes and Noble and there would be zero LGBTQ fiction.
right.
And so as I progressed and was thinking about that, I also realized, right, as someone also who is neurodivergent as an author, like I didn't have those stories either. And so I wanted to make sure I included strong neurodivergent characters to, fill up the shelves at Barnes and Noble with both neurodivergent stories
Fantastic.
and LGBT stories at the same time. It's kind of the
Great.
idea. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yep. And it works because I loved Rachel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
um I I'm getting ahead of myself, but I this is book one in the series. My best friend is book one. So
Yes. Yep.
there will be more. I'm
Yep.
not gonna tell everyone whether this has a happy ending or whether you have to wait for book two. But regardless, you
Yep.
have to read book one, two, and are there 10?
Exactly.
Are there
Yep.
20? How big will the series get?
I have planned it for four, but then I am kind of toying with some ideas for having a little bit of maybe spin-offs,
Yeah.
to make it five or six, like because a lot of people have said that they've connected with Rachel, so I want to have a book that maybe is her spin-off, but also I originally had planned just Ray and Connor stories to be four books, so we'll see. It probably end up
Yeah,
5 to 7-ish by all said and done. Yeah.
fantastic. I'm first in line for Rachel's series because
Oh,
she deserves
yes.
her own series. She absolutely does.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
She's
and what's so good about her as well, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but the stereotypical fag hag that a lot of
yep.
gays of my age had back in our day
Yep.
were, you know, the overweight, couldn't get a boyfriend,
Hmm.
overly protective best friend of the gay man. I'm
Yep.
so glad Rachel's not that. Like she's
Yep.
his main supporter, but she's not fag hagging in any way.
Yeah. Yep. I
And
get that. Yes.
and I like how you've done that because I
Yes.
get a bit tired of these tropes that are like you know you've
Hmm.
got the fag hag best friend, and you've got the secret gay uncle and all of this stuff that's just like
Yeah.
not necessary. So,
Yeah.
but your book has
Yeah.
got really, really positive people in a sea of negative people.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I found that so refreshing that
Yeah.
I mean, the negativity is real, and
Hmm.
we encounter it as gay men every day of our lives. As much as we don't want to admit it, we do. And
Hmm.
to have these few people prepared to stand up for us is
Yep.
really beautiful. So, look, this book needs to be
Yeah.
read by everybody. It doesn't matter what your orientation is. If
Hmm.
you're a young gay schoolboy, this is a must read for you. This is a no, it's not negotiable. You must have this book in your library.
Yep.
For in fact, most school kids, like late teens, can appreciate this book.
Hmm.
Anyone who's got neurodivergent classmates, read this book.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to feel warm and fuzzy for a time, read this book.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
There's just there's such a lot that this book offers that it needs more focus. So
Mhm.
that's why I love this book. So no spoilers, but what can we expect in book two?
So the kind of tension in book one is a lot more about them and their relationship and coming out.
Right.
That continues a little bit in book two, but in book two, um, one of our, you've already mentioned you hate her, so I'll just, one of our characters, Bailey and Joy, discover one of the boys and out him pretty early,
Uh,
and
uh,
so it becomes a much more them versus the school as a lot of the main tension, while still, right, the building off of some of the tension and conflict they've had with each other, right, becomes more real as, right, people start to find out. And so
mm,
there's a lot more of a us and the other, right, group of people, that other supporters versus them element to book two. Um, yeah, so that's kind of, I'm about halfway done writing that draft. I have it all outlined, but that's kind of where that is at. But I definitely kind of envisioned it becoming, right, us versus ourselves was book one, then book two starts to become us versus the rest of the school, and then book three
yeah,
becomes now the city, right? The city gets involved, so it's more of a us versus, right, the school district. And then book four is how I planned it, became comes back to them, which is the kind of right decision
the
about
full circle.
college, like the worry about, yeah, do we have to split? Do we go to like that kind of, do we go to the same college? Those kinds of things come back in a bit.
Wonderful.
So
Well, I'm
yeah,
I'm on board for all four. So
yes,
I'm excited to read all four of these books. So
yes,
Bailey is like your typical mean girl, but she's every
yep,
mean girl in the world wrapped up into one hideously nasty little bundle. And
yep,
so I love to hate her because
yep,
she's what we all hate at school, and every school has
mhm,
one.
yep,
And unfortunately, the fact that she's at the beginning connected in some way to Connor makes it even
yep,
more Bath worthy, that
yep,
Bath BARF worthy, that she's even
yes,
present in the book. So I love
yep,
that her
yep,
meanness goes up a level by book two.
yes, yep. It
And
goes, yep,
um,
exactly.
again, no spoilers, but I would love it if she got her just desserts at some point.
Yes, yes. I
um,
think, yep, yeah. I think yes. I am planning on her and a few other characters getting some just desserts.
Wonderful.
Yes. So like I won't yeah, I won't say anything
Don't don't no,
because
don't give
otherwise
don't
it'll
give
be
anything
big
away. Yeah.
yes, yeah, I'll give it away. But
So
yeah.
now, what some of your readers may not know is that my ex-best friend is the story of the two boys, but there's actually a prequel to this book
Mhm.
called Becoming Ex-Best Friends, and it's available for free if people join your newsletter on your
Yes.
website.
Yep.
So
Correct.
that's a great way to get an introduction to what's coming in this story. Now,
Yes.
you mentioned to me that you actually wrote My Ex-Best Friend first
Yep.
and the prequel second. But
Yep.
if you read them the other way around,
Yes.
the emotional connection for the reader is a little stronger.
I think so. I think it would be because so becoming ex-best friend has more of the like why are so the book starts off right they are in a fight basically
Right.
they
Yes.
have kind of right we're best friends. Bailey was one of the reasons they kind of become not best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they kind of get split, and then a lot of that background you'll get from just reading My Ex-Best Friend, but you'll get maybe a little bit more depth and a little bit more of the visceral reaction to some of the things that Bailey did and some of the pressure that Connor feels than if you don't read that.
Right.
But yeah, yes,
Okay. So this is the plan. After the interview, after you watch this interview, go to Vico's
yep,
website, join
sure,
the newsletter, get the free book Becoming Ex-Best Friends, read that,
yep,
go out and buy My Ex-Best Friend,
yep,
and then you'll be all set for book two and book three and the others when they come out. Now, I happen
yes,
to know, and I do apologize, I haven't read them yet, but you have another
yep,
series that you wrote
yep,
before this series that is still a work in progress as well.
yes, yes. It is very much a work in progress. And so even though the first book is published, I'm kind of going to eventually go back and kind of rehaul, rewrite everything. But it is called, well, the prequel for that one is called Surviving Purgatory, and the other one is Dear My Therapist. And that actually, the question I asked myself with that book, I wrote it or started writing it initially after there was a school shooting in the United States.
Ooh,
And in one of the interviews of one of the students involved, I kind of had this like sense of like, did they just lose their boyfriend in this school shooting? And so it is kind of a, um, but again, LGBTQ coming of age, but the question is like, how do you heal after your partner gets passed, right, passes away in the school shooting before
yeah.
you both came out? And so it is very, it's much it has a lot of heavier themes. So there's kind of the romantic element. You know, going into it, right, that this isn't a romance, but there is
Mhm.
the, right, him retelling the story of their relationship, right? It's called Dear My Therapist because it's, right, working through the mental health struggle with a therapist after having this school shooting. So it is a much deeper, heavy hitter. Yeah. So,
Okay, all right. So there's
yep.
that series for you to read as well.
Yep.
But my ex-best friend is the hot property right now, and it's the one that
Yes.
I'm
Yes, exactly.
yep, the one to read. So
Yep.
a lot of authors have themselves or a part of themselves in their books. Are you
Yep.
or a part of you in my ex-best friend?
Less so in my ex-best friend. Actually, my ex-best friend is much more parts of people I grew up with that I,
Nice.
right. So Rachel's character, for example, is based off of someone who I was on a cross-country team with.
Wow.
Um, so there is some of, right, the kind of, like I was envisioning her a lot as I was writing some of the scenes and how would she have reacted to this situation. Same with some of the more supporting characters, but and as that kind of weird, like the Connor and Ray are just kind of right came to me slowly over time, and
Mhm.
so they are the most non-grounded in people I know, but pretty much all the other cast of characters, there's somebody in my mind that I was thinking about as I was writing. So yeah,
Great. Okay, so you're over
yeah,
halfway through book two.
yep,
Do you are you have you got a release date kind of planned yet? Have you got a
yeah.
hope when you would like to get it out?
I am hoping August.
Oh, that's
That
soon.
yeah, that's
Great.
kind of the hope is that yeah. I kind of timed it out. If I write 1,000 words a day, I'll
Hmm.
get the actual rough draft done, go with my editor for a month or two, and then hopefully be able to launch it probably near the end of August. But yeah, I want to I feel the momentum. I like writing about these characters, and so I
Yeah,
just write
yeah,
as long as it's fun, I can keep going ahead and just want to get it out there because yeah, the more people I think read it, I hope, right, like you mentioned, I hope people read it, learn something,
yes,
um,
yes,
feel the connection between Ray and Connor, and especially see how important it is even to be, even if you don't feel like you're being that supportive of people, that that little bit of support can mean all the difference. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And that's
Yep.
what's there's so many powerful messages in this book, and it's
Mhm.
kind of like you're reading a love story, but at the same time you're learning some life lessons from it, regardless of your age.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
what's so beautiful about this book, and why, again, I stress everybody needs to read this book. So
Yeah.
once you finish the interview, go to Vico's site, download Becoming Ex-Best Friends, go onto
Yes.
Amazon, buy My Ex-Best Friends, and you'll thank both
Yep.
of us later.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you so much, Vico, for coming on the channel. It's been wonderful to
Of
meet you, and
course.
thank you for sharing this book with the world, because it is a wonderful book,
Yes.
and I'm very
Awesome.
excited about books 2 to 7, 8, however many there's going
Yes,
to be.
exactly.
So
Yep. Me
thank you so
too. I'm
much.
so excited.
All the best,
Thank
and
you.
I will be talking again by August when book 2 comes out.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me and happy reading, everybody.
Bye bye.